Hello and welcome back to another pickups video. As you can see, I'm actually wearing clothes this time as opposed to pajama pants. But heck, when I get home, I like putting pajama pants on. So, um, again, got a big old stack of 360. It's probably gonna be like that for a while until we finish this thing off because it's just what I like to collect for, and it's just crazy at the amount of stuff that I'd never even heard of that I'm still finding at game stores, and frankly a lot of them are still pretty cheap. It's also crazy that a lot of the good games are still cheap, and you can talk to your blue in the face about, oh, it's just people didn't give it enough chance. You play shit like Bullet Witch and One Chanbada, and then the less acceptable, the less, not acceptable, the less digestible games like Operation Darkness, Zoid's Assault, Cold Sept Saga, like games that are going to appeal to a very niche group. It's crazy at like the good game to price ratio. I did a list, and I'm on a tangent at the start here, but I did a list of like my top 10 Xbox 360 games, and it's crazy at, for one, the amount of exclusives that are on that list. I believe there's only two that are actually exclusive, and price of those games that I have like thoroughly enjoyed. Granted, I've only been alive for 30 years now, so there's a lot of games that I haven't played. Um, and I'm not going to claim that Zoid's Assault or Cold Sept Saga aren't good games. They're just niche games. Like, they only appeal to that specific demographic of gamer, someone who likes RTS games or whatever the fuck Cold Sept Saga is. Um, so, I mean, I guess that's why they're valuable, or that's why someone values them that way. I'm not going to say that anything is valuable. It's only valuable when someone is willing to spend that amount of money on it. It just kind of irks me with the Xbox 360 because all of these games, barring a few, like, I'm going to say a majority of the Xbox 360 library, you could get, like, I remember buying Rock Band 1 and 2, Dead Space 2, Dead Space 3, Crisis 2, and Crisis 3 for 99 cents each. And now the cheapest you're going to find an Xbox 360 game is $4.99. Even for the fodder. Granted, inflation has a little bit to do with that, but that from 99 cents to fucking $4, that's just insane to me. And because of the store closing, all of a sudden, oh, the Xbox 360 was so good. You have to go out and buy these games. I'm not gonna say you have to go out and buy these games. You don't have to fucking do anything. Frankly, don't go out and buy them so that I can buy them and the fucking prices will go down. I hope that like every morning that it just takes a huge fucking tank. Like all these people that bought, it's just dumb. And if you did buy One Chanbada at $100, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that you did that. But hell, it's your money and you have free will. But yeah, let's just get into the pickups. I actually have one PC game. Um so I'll just do that one. And it sucks because like so I found this at Half Price Books in Richardson. It's called Evidence the Last Ritual. And I saw it on the shelf and was like, man, that is a cool box. It's designed like an evidence bag from a police lockup. And reading the back, from the creator of the Game of the Year, Missing comes an all-new, terrifying alternate reality adventure. The infamous serial killer, the Phoenix, is on the loose. Inside this bag are the malicious and mysterious CDs that he sent unmarked to our office. We are confident that playing his so-called game will provide us with the necessary clues that will ultimately lead to his capture and arrest. We need your help. So it's like looks like a kind of like those Flash games that were really popular when PewDiePie played horror games in the beginning. But it's like a detective game. So I put it in, and it uses when it came out, it would use the internet, and it's kind of like the Welcome to the Game before that even came out, where you have to browse websites in search of clues. But because it uses the internet, the servers for this are down. They're no longer active, so it just won't connect. So it's useless. I hung on to it because I do like the design of this. I just wish I could have played it. Like, that just sounded so cool. It's not worth reselling, and I like the of course it's not worth reselling because nobody can play it. But yeah, I like the presentation here enough to where I've still got it. Otherwise, it would just go in the trash. But yeah, that sucks because that would have been kind of cool. So next up we have PS2 is the next smallest stack. So I got Smuggler's Run. Apparently this was a launch game with the PS2. If you look at like a PlayStation 2 box, I think there's actually... Is there an advert in this? There isn't. But if you look at the back of the PlayStation 2 box, it shows Smuggler's Run on there. When I got a PS2, I was at least like 8 or 9. And I wasn't looking at the back of the box. I was playing my PlayStation 2, mostly Harry Potter Chamber of Secrets. But, yeah, it's a racing game. It's not really a racing game. It's more like Twisted Metal, or it's like a car combat game, kind of. Saw it in a Metal Jesus Rocks video, and it was only $7. I like racing games. I like driving games. I like cars. So I picked it up. The only way I'm going to be able to play this is on the PS2 I have. I'm working on getting a capture card that'll capture AV, and when I get that, I can add a lot of my PlayStation 2 games into the PlayStation random wheel. So this might get picked one of these days. I have to finish Senran Kagura first before I can even consider playing another game for that. And then next up, so I had to drive paperwork to... It's near Granbury. I can't remember the name of the town. But I had to drive paperwork up there for my boss. And I just looked up game stores in the area. And there was one. So I went in. It was kind of like... It looked like it was in an old movie theater. Like the lobby of a theater. I think it was just like Retro Video Games is all the name of the store was. It wasn't a great store. But this is one of those racing games that I believe it was mentioned in a Game Ranks video, and I believe Metal Jesus Rocks has talked about this. It's a cel-shaded racing game. It's Auto Modelista. And I saw it in there. I'd never heard of this game until watching all of these video game YouTubers, collectors, whatever, resellers, whatever they are. And I'd never seen it. So I saw it in there, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Of course, this is one of the game stores where nothing is priced, meaning when you take it up to the counter, they're going to look up, like, they may not even look up what it last sold for. They're just going to look up eBay and see what it's currently listed at, and that's how they give you a price for it. I don't think I have the receipt for this anymore. I don't. I paid, I think like 35 for this. I don't really know off the top of my head what it's worth for now. Um, but I thought, that's, I'll pay $35. That's fine. I believe I looked it up in the store on CLZ real quick just to see what it was currently selling for. Just to see, like, to kind of curb my expectations when I took it up to the counter. Because if I had picked this off the shelf and it was $60, I'd have put it right back down. I'm not gonna pay for it because I've heard it's not even that great of a racing game. The only thing it really has going for it is its cel-shaded art style. So I'm not gonna pay $60 for a not that great game, but I'll pay $30. That's fine. All right, so next smallest stack is PlayStation 4. I believe I only got 4 here, or 5. One of them is a special edition there. So I remember seeing, I don't remember who it was that played this. It's one of the trophy hunting YouTubers I like to watch. It may have been Yoma. I think it was Yoma97 that played this. I remember when this game came out, I liked the art style. I liked the... It's a Hat in Time, by the way. I liked the... it's a 3D platformer. I like Crash Bandicoot. So I thought, well, I like the art style. I like the genre of game it is. Sorry, I'm stroking out over here. I was looking at the back and only just noticed that it also includes, what does that say? On disc, seal the deal. I don't know what the fuck that is. I was looking at it and it's like, what is going on the back here? Explore an all new chapter plus new difficulty mode, Death Wish. Discover new outfits, flares, dyes, and camera filters. Okay. I bought this sealed off of eBay. I bet what happened with this game, it's a Humble Games, Humble Bundle on PC. This is a game published by them. So I bet a bunch of eBay resellers just bought like boxes of this, thinking it was going to skyrocket in value, and it didn't. So I got a brand new copy for like $25 off of eBay. It's like if you search this, there's like 10 listings, just like without scrolling. Just brand new. But yeah, I like the art style. I like the genre of game. It looks. I think. I don't know if the platinum is still doable because it does have an online trophy, but it'll get added into the PlayStation backlog. It may get picked one of these days. All right, so I bought this at Half Price Books in, I want to say Carrollton or somewhere. I just wanted to go to a Half Price Books I'd never been to before, so when I was in Mesquite, I just searched the closest one because the one in Mesquite closed down. So I just searched the closest one to that. Maybe in Rockwall. It was Rockwall. Half Price Books. I bought this. It's Gran Turismo Sport. I now have a lot of the Gran Turismo series. At the time of picking this up, I still needed 1, 2, 3, and 4. I now only need 3 and 4. But, yeah, I figured since I'd already got Gran Turismo 5 Prologue and 7, it's a racing game. Might as well grab it. I've already got a bunch of the series, so... What I've played of Gran Turismo 5 Prologue, I don't know... And I played a little bit of 2. I don't know if I want to play like the older ones because they still use the D-pad to control the car. Like there's no analog stick, which is crazy, especially for Gran Turismo 5 Prologue. That's insane to me. That's like a modern-ish game that was on PS3 and you're not using the analog stick. I don't get it, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't really have anything other than it's a racing game. So this here, another one thanks to Metal Jesus Rocks that I found out about. The game itself, Anima Gate of Memories. So I looked it up and saw that it had a special edition. And the special edition was only like $30. Granted, this copy I got, the box is kind of falling apart, but like the art book is sealed inside of it. The game was sealed, so it was brand new, just damage to the box. And from what I saw in Metal Jesus Rocks video, it's very anime. It kind of looks like Nier Automata, Code Vein. It's like third person. It's probably like a hack and slash, like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry, which I'm not really into, but I like the art style. Heck, for $35 for a special edition, looks pretty sitting on the shelf, as long as you don't look at the side of it here. But yeah, I'll try anything for $35. So next up, I was in college. No, Killeen. I was in Killeen for work. I believe like a lot of the stuff from the last video. So this is like bleed over from that. These next two games I got at the GameStop in the mall in Killeen. They were having a 4 for $20 sale. So I got Like a Dragon Ishin. I would have preferred to have this on Xbox, but I got it within that sale, so I thought, well, I have Kiwami on PlayStation. I've got Judgment on PlayStation, so why not? Plus, it was in the sale. I am working on a trophy hunt tours for this. I'm a little under halfway of the trophy list, but this is going to be a beefy boy to get all of the trophies, to get the platinum on. Don't expect it soon. But I am enjoying it. It's definitely not my favorite in the Yakuza series or Like a Dragon. That would go to Yakuza Like a Dragon. But it's a Yakuza game. So I'm enjoying my time with it so far. But getting doing the entire completion list and getting all of the, what is it called? Grace. Ooh. My case is also fucked up, so the disc, like the actual thing that the disc sits on, doesn't depress properly, so my disc just rolls around in here. But yeah, I'm enjoying it right now, but I have a feeling it's going to be a chore towards the end. This is another one I got in the sale. I thought this was the first Neo, but it's Neo 2. In a future pickups, you'll see Neo 1, because I had Neo 2, I had to get Neo 1. This is it's made by Team Ninja, who did the Dead or Alive series and Ninja Gaiden. But it's a Souls-like. Again, I thought, it was for the 4 for $20. I grabbed it. It's something I feel like I can give a chance. I'm not very good at Souls-like, Code Vein being the only one I've actually played to completion. But yeah, I figure it might be fun. So that's it for PS4. Next up is Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X/1, and here we have a sealed copy of Deus Ex Mankind Divided, the Day 1 edition. All of that. This I got in... So I'm subscribed to Video Games Monthly. It's a subscription service where you pick, like, the consoles you want to collect for, and every month they'll send you a bundle of, like, 3, 4, or 5 games, I think. I'm subscribed to the 3 games monthly. I got this. I actually got the PS4 copy from them as well. And then like the next box I got the Xbox One version. So I sold the PS4 copy. That one was sealed as well, but I kept the Xbox One because obviously me being an achievement hunt whore, I want it on Xbox. So I have this, and I bought. I think I got. Man, what's the first one? Human Revolution. I got Human Revolution in another Video Games Monthly box, so that was kind of cool. So now I have both of the modern Deus Ex games. And then this one is Flat Out 4. I didn't even know there was a Flat Out game on Xbox One PS4. I found this at Game Exchange, so I grabbed it. Again, racing games. I played the original Flat Out on original Xbox, and it was fine. I preferred the driving more than, you can see it on the back here. All of the like the stunt course stuff, like where you throw your driver through the windshield and you gotta like get it over a goalpost or whatever. I prefer the actual driving to the like mini game stuff in this, but it's on the backlog. Next up, this is the third game I got at the Colleen GameStop for the 4 for $20. This is Gungrave Gore. It looks like a third-person shooter. I've actually seen, I believe this is a remake of like a Sega Genesis or Super Nintendo game, because I can't remember if I saw it on the Genesis or Super Nintendo, but I remember seeing Gungrave Gore like in one of those big like plastic clamshells. So I think this is like a remake, but yeah, it's a shooter. I did look at the achievement list. It looks like a pretty difficult one to get all the achievements for, but it kind of reminds me of Doom, like a third-person Doom, where it's just like bombastic combat and you're supposed to be getting like scores and stuff. Speaking of that, I just looked over the next game is exactly that. But yeah, I think it could be fun. I think shooters and racing games are probably the most, again, digestible game to me. Like, even if it's not like the most unique shooter, as long as like the combat or like driving is good in either of those genres, I can have fun with it. But if it's a shooter and the gun combat fucking sucks, it's a slog. And the same for a racing game. If the driving is awful, like most Need for Speed games, I just can't get into it. All right, so like I said, Bulletstorm. This is probably one of the more recent games that I've completed. I haven't completed a lot of games this year, sadly. I've been buying them, but I have not really completed hardly any of them. But Bulletstorm, I was taking this out of town with me, and I actually finished this one. This is the full clip edition that it was re-released on Xbox One and PS4, and it was pretty fun. Like the scores and the humor. This game could, like, I'm surprised they did not have to change the dialogue for this. As, you know, tongue-in-cheek as it is, I'm surprised, like, people were not offended by this. But I liked it. I liked the humor in this. It kind of, like, sequel baits you at the end, but I don't know if it's ever going to get a sequel. I'll play a sequel if it does, but I don't think it's going to. Even with the re-release of this and people giving it a second chance, I don't think it's sold well enough to get a sequel. But it actually came with a DLC code where you could play as Duke Nukem. This code was active, so I downloaded that, but I've yet to start Duke Nukem. I wanted to do my first playthrough of it, and I'll play as Duke my second one. But yeah, Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition was actually pretty cool. This next one, so this was the last game I got with the 4 for $20 sale. This is Okami HD. This is the one I've started playing. I'm playing this and Project Cars. I played this while I was in Colorado. It's very Nintendo. Like, I am glad that it got a re-release off of the Wii and 3DS and whatever else it was with Nintendo, and actually got a decent release on PS4 or Xbox One, an HD, actually HD game, but it's very Nintendo. Like, all of the characters talk like Banjo Kazooie. But I didn't expect it to be so funny. It's got humor. Like, to me, Nintendo doesn't scream humor, but it is Capcom. Um, so I wasn't expecting it to have a sense of humor, especially it being like a folklore. I was expecting it to just take itself way too seriously, but it isn't. It doesn't hold your hand either, which I'm fine with in a game. But when none of the characters actually say words, um, it's kind of it. It's taking me a minute to come to grips with everything that this game is. Um, I'm like trying to play it like not a Nintendo game. It's very like 90s. It's like Banjo Kazooie or Mario 64, where it doesn't really tell you how to solve its puzzles. You just kind of have to beat a square peg through a round hole. But I'm gonna continue playing it, and once I actually grasp everything that the game's doing, I'll give more concise thoughts. This next one, so I can't remember. So okay, Okami and Wasteland 3. So I bought a copy of Okami off of GameStop.com. It came loose. While I was in Killeen, they had a copy with the case and artwork in the store, and I was like, well, it's perfect. I'll get it for the 4 for $20. So I sold the loose copy and kept this one. But I bought Wasteland 3 at the same time as Okami, and it was also loose. For whatever reason, this is like one of the more like pricier games on the Xbox One. I don't know why. Because I think I paid like $10 for this off of GameStop.com, and I've already spent $10 on it. I can't justify spending another $15 just to get the case. I don't know if I can find it like at a yard sale or whatever, or wait until it goes down to $5, then I'll worry about getting the artwork. But as for right now, I've got it loose. I hear it's like Fallout. It's like original Fallout, like PC top-down Fallout. So that's why I bought it. And because I bought Wasteland 3, I got Wasteland 2 Director's Cut. Which I got this the same time as Gran Turismo Sport at that Rockwall half-price books. I wish they had 3, but because I had a 10% off coupon there, so if it was 15, I'd have got 10% off of that. But yeah, I think Wasteland 3 was released on Xbox One and PS4, but I think Wasteland 2 was an old PC game, and it got like a port to Xbox One and PS4. So, but yeah, I've got those. More RPGs, as if I ever will have time to play all these RPGs I have. Alright, so now we have just the monstrous stack of 360. Mercenaries 2, I bought a guy was selling a literal garbage sack of Xbox 360 games with an old 360 on Facebook Marketplace. He had it listed at 150, and I asked if he'd take 100, and he said yeah. This was in there. The 360 was trash. Like, it looked like it had been dropped and then picked up and then drop kicked. So I just threw that away. Like, it was missing the faceplate. The thing that goes over the disc tray was gone. So on the side of the original 360, one side you would put your hard drive in, and the other side is just like a plastic, like, vent grate. That was missing. So I don't know what the fuck happened to it, but I just threw it in the trash because I plugged it in and the disk drive wouldn't even open. And I was like, well, it ain't even worth selling for parts. But yeah, Mercenaries 2. I guess I cleaned this. I could swear I remember it having like a bunch of scratches on it, but this is like on people's lists of like disappointing sequels. This is on their list, but I've never played it. I haven't played the first Mercenaries, and because I bought that lot, I was like, I've already paid the $100. I'll just keep what I want out of it. I think like when you do stuff that way, it's a good way to get games. Like if I had picked that up at a store, depending on the price, like maybe $3, I'd pay $3 for it. But with paying like something for a bulk lot, I'm more inclined to hold on to it that way. This next game, it's Kingdom Under Fire: Circles of Doom, another RPG I'd never heard of. I was on, I think at the time it was called thisisgameroom.com. They've since changed their name to Dial Up Games. I think his name is Collector John on YouTube. He did a video talking about when they were called This Is Game Room. And I was like, oh cool, a used video game website I've never heard of. And so I got on there and was browsing, and I saw this one. I was browsing the 360 section. Saw this one. It's probably going to be in the next, because I bought a few games from them. It'll probably be in the next set. RPG I'd never heard of, so I grabbed it, and yeah. Whenever I'm 90, I'll get to play it. This next game, so this is Pure, but it's in the like pack-in game with Lego Batman. But I don't think it had Lego Batman in it, which is fine because Pure is the game I wanted. I actually had a loose copy of Pure on PS3, but this came in that same garbage sack of games, so I sold the PS3 copy and kept this one because I like Pure. I've actually played Pure. I'm not really big into dirt bikes and stuff, but this was a pretty fine like dirt bike racing game. It's more like all-terrain vehicle because you can also use four-wheelers. But yeah, you can do tricks and stuff. I thought it was a pretty good game. So glad to have it on 360. So Silent Hill Homecoming. I had Downpour already. And this came down in price slightly. I think I paid $18 for this. And it was like, the last time I saw it, I think it was like going from like 25 to 30. And for it being, like, I didn't play a lot of Homecoming, but what I've heard, it's not a great game. But, I mean, people say Downpour isn't a good game, and I liked Downpour. But because I had Downpour, I wanted to get the other Xbox 360 Silent Hill game. Because, as you know, like, even though this went up, this was like when the first like round of Xbox 360 FOMO, it kind of went up a little bit. And then I think the same thing that happened with Senko no Ronde. People played it and were like, oh, that isn't worth what I paid for it. So it kind of came back down. Just judging by the other Silent Hills in the Silent Hill franchise, I don't think this is going to reach like Silent Hill 2 or Silent Hill 3 numbers, but I would not want to pay $50 for this. So $19 I can pay. You know, that's, again, it's more than what 360 games were selling at the start of this year, but it's less than $50. So this is another one that was in that garbage sack of games. This is Pac-Man 2, the Ghostly, or Pac-Man and the Ghostly Adventures 2. It looks like a achievement fodder. It looks like it'd be a pretty easy full completion. I don't know. People seem to like I think this got a re-release or something on PS4. I don't know if it was this one or the first one. but people seem to like these like anthropomorphic Pac-Man games. So I figured if it's at least good, it could be good achievement getting. So, and then another game in that garbage sack. I already had Arkham Asylum, so Arkham City. I would have preferred to have the Game of the Year edition, but I couldn't tell the guy that sold me the garbage sack, like, hey, throw in the Game of the Year edition, and I'll buy it. But yeah, I've got Arkham City. So now the only Arkham game I'm missing is Origins, which that one's just crazy. That it's like nobody gave a shit about it, and it was, you know, a decent game, like a decently priced game. Like, I played it when it came out. I bought it when it came out. It's definitely probably one of the weakest in the Arkham series. Like, Rocksteady don't even consider it part of the Arkham universe. But I mean, Rocksteady's kind of faltered a little bit, so whatever. But it was like $4, and then it got delisted, and then people were like, "Oh, I need it now." So that's just fucking stupid. It's the same thing that happened with Spec Ops: The Line, except Spec Ops: The Line was an actually good game that nobody gave a chance until it got delisted, and then everybody and their fucking grandma wanted it. So people just want what they can't have. Which I'm surprised Sonic Generations hasn't gone up in price, because I think it recently got delisted off of Steam or whatever to make room, to make way for that Sonic Generations X Shadow or whatever the fuck it's called. But Tom Clancy's End War, again, trying to get all of the Tom Clancy's games on 360, so I needed End War. I think this is like an RTS, which I'm not a big fan of, but again, I want all of these spines because I'm just a dumb collector who doesn't even play his games half the time. Guitar Hero Van Halen. Watching all of these YouTube collectors, I was like, ooh, you know what? I already had, I believe, Guitar Hero 3 and Aerosmith. I think. No, I had Guitar Hero 3 and Guitar Hero Live, because when I worked at Live Storage, and Band Hero. I had Band Hero. When I worked at Live Storage, I actually found Guitar Hero Live with the guitar new in the box, like someone abandoned a unit and that was in there. So that's how I ended up with that. And I've since lost the fucking dongle to that guitar, and it's $30 to buy a new one. I don't want to play it, but fuck. So I had Band Hero, Guitar Hero 3, and Guitar Hero Live. I was like, you know what? All of these other video game collecting YouTubers are going for these like expensive ass sets. Nobody's playing Guitar Hero right now. That one seems cheap, so I'll go for all of those. So I started collecting Guitar Hero, and then the whole like renaissance of people using fucking plastic guitar controllers. I think it was when Epic delisted all of the like Guitar Hero and Rock Band games. These all shot up in price. So Rock Band or Guitar Hero Van Halen is one of the more expensive ones. There's Van Halen, Warriors of Rock, and Metallica and Smash Hits. Those are the ones that are over 30 right now. But I needed Van Halen to complete my set. I think at the time of picking this one up, the only ones I had left were Warriors of Rock and Smash Hits. This was at Game Exchange. I might still have. I don't have the receipt in it. But I think I paid like $39.99 for this. The sticker on it said disc only, but it wasn't. It was in the case, so I don't know why. But, and I don't even think that was like cheaper. $39.99 was like the going rate for that. So this one, I'm gonna admit, FOMO got me a little bit. So I was at Game Exchange looking for games. They had this there. It was $14.99. I picked it up and was like, that is a game that I've been wanting to play. I remember watching my neighbor Carl play this, and he says it's a really good game. It's based on the Chronicles of Riddick movie. What's cool about this? So, well, yes, yeah, Escape from Butcher Bay was a game that was released on Xbox, but this copy, the Assault on Dark Athena, and I think that like Xbox 360, like all of them are gonna have that. It includes Escape from Butcher Bay on it. It's like a remastered version of Escape from Butcher Bay. So I was like, that's really cool, but I really don't want to spend $14.99 for it. I came home and just happened to be browsing CLZ, and it was like selling for $25. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back and buy that because I'm not paying $25 for it. So the fear of missing out, I didn't want to leave it there just because I'm stuck in the past when 360 games were fucking stupid cheap. Plus it's a good game, so $14.99 really isn't that bad, but I don't know, like, again, I remember going into Game Exchange and just finding several 360 games for 99 cents. So it's just really hard for me to not think that way anymore. Like, it's been probably 6 years since I went into Game Exchange and bought all those games for 99 cents each. So it's just taken me some getting used to inflation. But yeah. Assault on Dark Athena. I bought this. So this and the next game I bought at the same time. I went back later that day and got Assault on Dark Athena. This is Ninja Gaiden 3. I already had Ninja Gaiden 2, so for $10, I thought, why not? I'll add the next one to it. I hear this one isn't that good. I played a little bit of this. If you've seen the pouring one out for Xbox 360 store video, this had a code with it, so I played a little bit of this. Like the entire first section of the game is all QuickTime events, so I can see why people are not impressed with this one, but yeah, it's in the backlog. It'll get played eventually. And it's crazy how many of these South Peak games I now have. Again, bought this the same time as Ninja Gaiden 3. Later went back and got Dark Athena. Yeah, Section 8. I see this on the shelf all the time, but I really don't know what it is. It looks like a third-person shooter on the back against aliens. So I thought, why not? I'll get all of these like unheard of 360 games. That's basically where I'm at this point. I've got pretty much all of the ones that I want. I'm just looking for like anything that I haven't really heard of sticks out to me now. I do remember seeing this Spine on the shelf a lot, but this is the one time I decided to actually pick it up. This next one, Sacred 3, I got off of Mercari, I think for like $5. I had Sacred 2, so I wanted Sacred 3. In the Xbox 360 store video, I tried the code out for this, but it had already been redeemed. Which was a bummer because this, what's his name, Malachime? Yeah, Malachime code, there's achievements tied to him, so I would have liked to have had that, but this game is backwards compatible on the Series X, so I should still be able to buy the DLC off the Series X. Next up, another game I got in Colleen. This is Splinter Cell Double Agent. Again, needed it for the Tom Clancy set. I also bought Ridge Racer 6 in Colleen. I had Ridge Racer Unbounded. I'm not really a big fan of Ridge Racer Unbounded because it's the Need for Speed style of game. I'm more into the like arcade or not arcade, racing sim. Sorry, reached the recording limit on the camera. But yeah, I'm more into the racing sim style of game. So I think this is the only Ridge Racer that got released on 360. Well, like numbered series. You also had Unbounded, but they did Ridge Racer 6, and then 7 was on PS3, and then Ridge Racer Unbounded was on 360 and PS3. So I don't know what the fuck happened there. So at the same time, I got the Ritual. I found Dead or Alive 6. No, Dead or Alive 5 Ultimate up there. I had Dead or Alive 5, just the base game. Ultimate includes all of the DLC. At this point, however, this game is useless. If you buy this game now, after the 360 store closes, you cannot play this. Do not waste your money on this game. I haven't seen it sell recently, but do not spend like $30 on this. I think that's what people are asking for on eBay because it's useless. You can't play this. If you didn't already own this before the store closed and downloaded the, I think they're like character packs, you can't even get past the main menu on this. It will not let you do anything. What happened with this game is, so when Dead or Alive 5 released, they had this Ultimate Edition. The Ultimate Edition was delisted from the store, and the Last Round Edition was released on Xbox One. That's why when you put this in, it's called Dead or Alive 5 Last Round, even though the title says Ultimate. But what they did to make it still playable is you had to download like character outfit packs or whatever. They were free downloads, and you could actually play it. But if you buy this now, you cannot download those content packs, so you can't make it past the main menu. So a word of warning, do not buy this at all. This is like The Crew. This is Minecraft Season Pass disc. This is MAG. This is, if you buy it now without having those content packs, this is a coaster for a coffee table. Thankfully, I have those already, so I can actually play that. I don't even know if it has these characters, because when I did my 360 store closing video, it would still want me to pay for all of the characters. So I don't really know what that includes. I just assumed Ultimate you would get all of the characters, but who knows? I don't remember when it was, but I bought Record of Agarest War 0 at an anime convention. Way overpaid for it. They were asking $20. I didn't even haggle with them and just gave them $20. And I think it was selling for $10 at that time. So I was looking for Record of Agarest War, just the first one, and I found it on Mercari. I think I paid $20 for this, which I then found it at Collectible Cards and Games for $14. So I may have overpaid for it, but this one includes the soundtrack. So I don't know if that's why it was being listed at $20. I don't know. I don't know how valuable the soundtrack is. That's just what I tell myself is, oh, I got the soundtrack. So it's, I didn't overpay for it. I paid what it's worth. But who knows? That could just be copium. This next game I overpaid for extremely. I'm still upset that I did this. And it's no one's fault but my own. So at the same store, I got Auto Modelista. I was standing at the counter, and this was the last Dead Rising game I needed. I had all of the other ones. So I asked him, I was like, oh, hey, are the games behind the counter? I saw this, it was on a shelf behind him. It's like, oh, are the games behind the counter for sale too? He's like, yeah, they just haven't been put out on the floor yet. I was like, okay, well, let me also get Dead Rising 2 off the record. So, like I said, this store, none of the games had prices on them. So, as I was standing there, and it's very clear that that's what he's doing. Because it's taken him, 10 minutes to ring me up. He hasn't even scanned anything yet. And he's like, oh, sorry, computer's running slow. Yeah, bullshit, you're looking up the price online. And I don't know where he got the price for, but he was like 17. I was like, okay, sure. I, it's not worth 17. It's like $10. If it that, like it may be like 6. I don't know. I way overpaid for this. And it's my fault because I don't know, I just didn't haggle. Like I should have just told him, "No, that's okay. I don't need it." But for whatever reason I didn't, and I paid $17. I don't even know where he got the price from because I looked it up on eBay when I got into the car, and no one was listing it for $17. So I don't know where he got $17 from. But there we go. Yeah, that was that page of pickups. Out of all of these pickup, one game, and that's Bulletstorm. Granted, I played Guitar Hero Van Halen when that came out. That was more of like Batman Arkham City. I already played. Pure, I already played. So I guess technically I've played a lot of these. I just needed to re-add them to my collection. I never actually owned Arkham City. I borrowed that from a friend. And Guitar Hero Van Halen, I rented from GameFly. But yeah, so that's that. And I have been playing Ishin, so, and Evidence is useless. You can't play that. But yeah, if you like these sort of like collection update videos, consider subscribing. I also do achievement hunting, trophy hunting. I recently went on a trip to Colorado to see the Foo Fighters. I've got a video of me going to my first game convention. So I'm kind of doing lots of things. But if you've played any of these games, leave them in the comments down below. Which games do you recommend I drop everything and play right now? Like I said, keep in mind I am currently playing Ishin. Working on a Trophy Hunt Tours video for that, so stay tuned for whenever that gets done. Other than that, leave a like and check back next time for whatever I do. Bye-bye!